So, as you can imagine, considering the devastation that's been happening here in Altadena, Pasadena, Sierra Madre area, one of the biggest topics that we're handling right now is leases, landlord-tenant issues, short-term, mid-term, long-term rentals. It's devastating. There's thousands of people that need to figure out where they're going to stay. And I'm going to start off by saying I am not a real estate attorney. I'm not a landlord-tenant attorney. If you need a referral for one, I'm happy to connect you, but I will be sharing with you what we're learning on the real estate side of things. Right now, because of the state of emergency being declared, there is a penal code in effect. It's 396, and it is talking about price gouging, and I'm going to discuss a few topics about that I'm hearing. So first and foremost, if you are a landlord and you have rented out your home within the year, it's been published, it's been advertised, you cannot increase the rent by more than 10%. So that is your ceiling. If you have never rented out your home and you're renting it out for the first time, as defined by it being over a year since it's been on the market or advertised, then you would fall under a different rule, which would be the HUD rule. Now, what that means is you would look on the HUD website. If you Google HUD fair market rent, it'll pop up. You're going to look up the zip code that your rental is in, and you're going to look up the bedroom count, and that will have a rental value. You, by the rule of the penal code, are not allowed to charge more than 160% of that fair market rent. So that is your ceiling as a landlord. Now, having said all that, the way the penal code is written, they are defining housing rentals as 12 months or less. And I'm not saying that this is what you should do, but understand that if you're doing a 2-year lease, this penal code will not be in effect for you. Still speak to an attorney. I want you to be careful with that. And I don't think you should be doing a 13-month or 12 months in a day. I'm not saying you cut it close. I want you to understand what you can and cannot do. Now, there is something else that has popped up I want to discuss. A few people have said, well, it's a fine. So if I'm a landlord and I want to rent, if I want to charge more, I'll just eat the fine. Well, the penal code calls for $10,000 fine and or 12 months in county jail. It is considered a misdemeanor charge. So again, I do not think you want to play with that, and you should be very, very careful. Now, last thing that I will say, and this has been one of the biggest topics, is if the landlord is following this rule, but the tenant is willing to pay more. The tenant does not care about price gouging. They just want to get in the property. Well, the issue with that is even if both parties agree, if the tenant and the landlord put this term in their contract and it's less than 12 months or it's 12 months, that is considered an illegal term of the contract. And really basic contract law states you cannot have an illegal term in a contract or it will be deemed void, which means at any point in time, even if both parties agree, even if the tenant is okay with paying a price gouging price, they at any point can go after the landlord. They can sue them for restitution. They could get all the overpay given back to them, and it could just be a really messy lawsuit. So be very, very careful. This is not legal advice. And when it really gets tricky, we can absolutely connect you to a licensed attorney that can help you with this. So I hope this is helpful. Again, this is a really difficult topic. Nobody really wants to discuss price gouging. We hope it doesn't come up, but it does. And I wanted you guys to know about what that looks like.